A number of Democratic lawmakers have publicly condemned the accusations against Harvey Weinstein. They've specifically condemned Harvey Weinstein due to these allegations of sexual assault and sexual harassment. However, several days after the New York Times initially reported on these allegations, there were a number of high-profile Democratic politicians who didn't release any type of statement. Among them were Hillary Clinton and Barack Obama. And so it wasn't until today that we did finally get some statement condemning Harvey Weinstein. And the reason why it's relevant is because Harvey Weinstein was such a huge donor for these particular politicians. Now, Democratic lawmakers are either donating the money that they've received from Weinstein to charity, or they're returning that money to Weinstein. However, a statement from Hillary Clinton or Barack Obama would be nice. And finally, we got that statement. So let's hear from Hillary Clinton first. She said, "I was shocked and appalled by the revelations about Harvey Weinstein. The behavior described by women coming forward cannot be tolerated. Their courage and their support of others is critical in helping to stop this kind of behavior." Just to give you some background information about Hillary Clinton's relationship with Weinstein, as I mentioned, he's a huge donor to Democrats, and he was very supportive of Hillary Clinton during the 2016 election. Weinstein has long been a Clinton donor with ties to the political party. He was one of the many from Hollywood who donated to Bill Clinton's legal defense fund in the 1990s.
Well, now we know why.
Yeah, more recently, the Clintons rented a home next to Weinstein in the Hamptons in 2015, and Weinstein served as a connector between Hollywood stars and Hillary Clinton's 2016 campaign. He was essentially a bundler for Hillary Clinton, meaning he would collect money from other members of the Hollywood industry and donate it to her campaign.
Yeah, so mixed feelings here. So should they condemn him? Sure, we just condemned him. We did it last week, we did it this week. We have nothing to do with him. And so, on the other hand, Republicans who are reveling in this, remember you voted for a guy who said, and when you're a star, they let you do it, you can do anything, grab him by the pussy, you can do anything. So, Mr. Glass House, easy with the stones. So they're really enjoying this moment now. Republicans like, ha ha, we found one bad liberal.
Yeah.
We found him, okay? And since he gave money to people, they are also guilty and must all condemn him. There's nothing wrong with condemning him, God bless, everybody's condemning him, right? But this whole thing of like, hence they must be at fault, but they didn't know he was doing this stuff. So let me explain the difference. So the Mercers, Robert and Rebecca Mercer, they're now huge Republican donors. They love them, some tax cuts and whatever else they like. Now, they have given a tremendous amount of money to Breitbart, which we now know, great BuzzFeed article, cooperated with neo-Nazis, white nationalists, white supremacists to push forward their agenda. Now, you know that about the Mercers. If you keep taking their money, well, okay, then you know what they're up to and you took it anyway. There is some level of culpability there. But if the Mercers are randomly really bad people, I don't want to get into what they might have done because they didn't do it, really bad people on another count, right? Like they randomly go and mug people in the streets. Well, you didn't know that. I'm not going to put that on you, right?
Right.
Do you see what I'm saying?
I totally see what you're saying. Look, we don't know every like terrible, dirty thing that every person that we're associated with is doing behind the scenes. So I don't blame any politician for having ties to Weinstein in the past. However, when the allegations come out, you got to say something. And look, the reason why I think it's important for someone like Hillary Clinton to say something is because think about the guilt trip that we got from the Hillary campaign during this past election if you were a woman who didn't support her, right?
No,
if you were
hath no fury.
If you were a woman who had the audacity to not support her because you just didn't like her policies or didn't believe her when she claimed that she was going to look out for progressive values, oh, well, you're going to go to hell because there's a special place in hell for women who don't support other women, okay?
So that's a very fair point. Sorry, I got the quote wrong. You're right. It's a special place in hell for women who don't support other women. So, and given Bill Clinton's issues in the past, that does put Hillary in a bad spot. But look, I hear you, that's super fair point, but she didn't know. Look, I get it.
Right? She didn't know, but as soon as it's known, and I mean, look, I get it. You were friends with this guy. Maybe you want to like pause for a second and see how this plays out, right? But as soon as he gets fired from his own company, when the board decides, no, dude, you gotta go. As soon as he releases a statement essentially admitting to doing what he's been accused of doing, then you need to come out and say something, especially if you're on this tour, talking about, oh, I lost because of sexism and this and that, and society is so terrible to women. Yeah, society can be very terrible to women, especially when it comes to certain individuals in a position of power who prey on them. And so I think it was important to hear from her early on, and unfortunately she didn't release anything until she got a lot of criticism for not saying something.
So then I have one last request. So the Republicans love to think like, oh, you guys are gonna be hypocrites and you're gonna support Weinstein. No, we're not hypocrites. No one supports Weinstein. And we buried him immediately. You know why? Because we don't want anyone doing that to women.
Of course.
It's not, unlike you guys, it's not a like, oh, how are we gonna cover our ass? Or, oh, it's great to do that to women, but we have to pretend. No, we're not pretending. It's terrible to do that to women. So nobody wants anything to do with them because that's not what we stand for. And so if you wanted us to do that, great, no problem, super easy for us to do that. So in return, I assume you are going to be principled and say, yes, Donald Trump for grabbing women by the genitalia, sexual assault, bragging about it, saying he can get away with it because he's a star, very similar to Harvey Weinstein, is also a monster. Are you gonna say that? Wait, hold on. And then how about Roger Ailes and Bill O'Reilly, who did the same things? Are you gonna say they're a monster and denounce them? You're not, and you don't. So understand who the actual hypocrites are and the people who don't care about women at all.
Trump did not condemn O'Reilly or Bill O'Reilly or Roger Ailes. So, I mean, his camp can talk as much as they want about this situation. The fact of the matter is, when it came to their buddies at Fox News, they covered for them, they defended them, they refused to condemn them.
And okay, one super last thing, they're like, oh, now we're even. No, we're not even. So it's not about being even.
This is not about being even.
It's actually about protecting women. But for you, it's about political scores. So, oh, you got 18 conservatives and we got 1 liberal, so we're even. It's not about that. You shouldn't corner a woman and masturbate in front of her if she didn't ask. You shouldn't grab her breasts as Weinstein did. You shouldn't grab her genitalia as Trump did. You shouldn't force oral sex on them like Roger Ailes and Weinstein did, according to these allegations, or Bill Cosby. You shouldn't do those things, but you don't actually care about that stuff. That's why you're trying to keep score. If you like the Young Turks, you'll love Young Turks membership. TYTnetwork.com/join.